All right, folks, just like that, we're back in action here at the U.S. Amateur Championship, Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Our first look at defending champion Brian Parks. Of course, you are actually seeing Jason Gray at the table at the moment. And this is a race to 7. Once again, we're seeing him start in the 8-ball rack. 5 games of 8-ball up to 8 games of 9-ball.
I'm not familiar with Jason. Have you seen Jason play before?
Let's see. I have not seen Jason. He's from New Freedom, Pennsylvania, 44 years old.
Been playing 25 years?
Started playing in his parents' basement. We hear that quite a bit. Been playing APA 7 years. Cites his dad as a big influence in his life. Wants to say hello to his home bar, the Hoodle or Hodel. So we'll learn about Jason as we go. He's got a tough early round matchup against the 5-time champion Brian Parks.
He really couldn't have pulled a tougher first match.
Brian out of Bakersfield, California. Well known to most of our viewing audience.
But he's only won 5 times, so.
Just 5. Which really amazes me, Richard, because, I mean, as you know, some of these guys, once they've won it, I mean, they come in, they got the target on their back. Everybody's shooting for them. You get everybody's best game.
Yeah. Yeah, I was shooting for him in 2010 here at the old Strokers, other Strokers.
Played
I kept
Brian
telling
a few
him
times over the years.
I played him once there. I played him in Vegas once, but that year I said, I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you, because I saw him on the chart, you know, that if I kept winning and he kept winning, we would play at a certain point. And we did, and we went heel. And I broke and had a shot on the first ball, and I bobbled it in the corner, and he ran out from there. So
Brian will tell you, he doesn't have five of these titles without his opponent making some mistakes. You know, there have been matches where he flat out looked done, and you know, just a couple lucky breaks here, and he takes advantage and is back in it. So we'll see what he's got for his 2018 campaign.
I really appreciate PoolDog.com sponsoring this free stream.
Well, not only this coverage, but if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/APA Leagues, we've got 2 other matches over there for you folks. Trying to bring you as much coverage from this year's U.S. Amateur Championship as we can. Such a great event. Non-handicapped event, one of the few events APA produces that is not strictly for APA members. Of course, you do get a nice discount on your entry fee if you are an APA member, but not a requirement. Three o'clock round just getting underway here. Busy place this weekend, Strokers.
Now, if he pockets that 13 right now, that would be great for him, but he missed it. That would have been great to go ahead and get that out of the way and leave that hole open for the 3 later on if he needed it. But he can follow up now and pocket the 3 in the opposite corner if he wanted to, but I'm surprised he followed it up that far, because he could have left it between us and the 3 right now and made the 3 or the 4 in the corner if he'd rolled a little too far. But now he's jacked up over the, what is that, the 11 ball? Now, if he pockets this 1 ball with center ball, just hit the center of the cue ball, it will come over between the two stripes here and like that. Now, he had some right English on the cue ball, and it made it, when it hit the rail, it came straight back out. Not sure that he needed that, but that I suppose that kept it from going back out a little further. So now he can easily go down the table and don't scratch. It's pretty easy to pocket this ball, and it just rolls off of the other stripe, so you don't have to worry about scratching. It'll probably end up about where the chalk is, the cue ball will. Well, he hit it a little harder, but it headed towards the chalk.
All right, Brian off to a strong start in this match, up 1-0 over Jason Gray. And race to 7. Brian will have the break. 4 more games of 8-ball, and then they'll switch to the 9-ball set. Brian is from Bakersfield, California.
That's just outside of L.A., isn't it? I think so.
Southern California, yeah. I think it's a little more inland. Had the opportunity to kind of get to know Brian over the years with the success he's had. Super nice guy, you know, great ambassador for the sport.
That's the home of Buck Owens, I believe. The Hee-Haw guy. Hee-Haw. He's from Bakersfield.
Once again, we've started in the 8-ball set.
As usual.
I'm waiting for one of these matches where we start 9-ball, but it
Yeah.
just hasn't happened.
If they do start with 9-ball, we need to ask whoever picked the game. Now, why did you pick 9-ball when everybody else picks 8-ball? Now he's sending this into the side pocket, and he avoided. That was really good control of the cue ball there to take it between the 13 and the 4 without touching any ball. He doesn't want to touch any balls with the way they're lined up now, because if balls are out in the open and you move some balls, then you might move something that into a cluster where you can't make it. So work with them the way they are without disturbing them.
We've managed to get 2 games into this match before somebody is asking why a 5-time amateur champion is allowed to continue to play in an amateur event. And that
because
would be
he's still an amateur.
Just winning an amateur event does not necessarily make you a professional player.
Just if you're the best player in the world, but still an amateur, you're not a professional.
Right.
Then you're. It's like, what was the golfer, Bob Jones?
Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones, yeah.
Well, and here's the thing, like, I mean, if you talk to the guys that are playing in this event, there's not, you're going to be hard-pressed to find somebody that wants to win this event and then say, well, Brian wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to win a title because everybody's going to say, well, what did the field look like? Was Brian? No, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now I know why he won. So, you know, for the guys that are here, they have no desire to play in this event when the defending champ is not there. So, and Brian is beatable. Look, we see it in Vegas all the time. I mean, he's not winning. He's out at our pool player championships. He's on Masters teams. Those, you know, he's not always the winning player. It's just,
if I can go heel with him, anybody can beat him.
But in this environment, he has thrived, and I think partially based on his experience, but also partially his reputation. I think mentally it's tough for his opponents sometimes, you know, especially when they get into the final round. I just think he's got a big advantage at that point because he's been there, done that, and when things go badly, he doesn't panic, you know?
Yeah.
He's able to really stay within himself. So, but he's got to get there, right? There's a long way for him to go. We'll see. But that is your explanation as to why a 5-time amateur champion is playing in an amateur event, because he is not a professional.
See the 11? Almost going in the pocket. That's what he was playing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't control the cue ball a little better than that, but he was playing that ball off of the other ball and into the corner pocket. This will give us a chance to see how well Jason plays, because when you play at an upper level and you get ball in hand, you really should control the table from here. Yeah. Just a nice little nip on this ball, just back just to make the 6 in the corner and come back slightly for the 5 in the side.
I don't know if Jason said if he's played in the U.S. Amateur before. No, first time. So.
Oh.
Whole new experience for him. So,
him.
yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Sometimes these guys that you don't know a lot about, they come in kind of wild cards, and next thing you know, they're one of the top finishers.
I knew about it for a few years before I got in it. But, man, once I got in it, I was hooked because the competition and the way that you guys put this tournament together, it is so well run. It just you don't come in the morning and wonder what time am I going to. I mean, wait until somebody calls your name to play. Yeah. They actually tell you your match is at 3:30. So you can take care of things. And show up at 3 o'clock and be ready for your 3:30 match. And everybody here is so nice.
That is one of my favorite things about this event. The sportsmanship you see exhibited is, to some degree kind of unheard of in the pool world, right? It's not, I don't see it at that level at every event. Really? Not to say that there's bad sportsmanship in pool, but when you get here, I mean, these guys, I think, all kind of appreciate the skill levels of their opponents, right?
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of respect here,
to get a win here just in any round is so impressive. Can't make those kinds of mistakes against Brian.
No. But Brian has got to be – this is not a super easy run out. He's going to have to be careful here. There's no problem making these first 2 balls.
It's that 8 ball, right?
Well, he's got to follow this up just right to where then he can not only make the next drive. No, he didn't go far enough. So that's what I was saying about it not being that easy. Is he needed to go a little bit further, but not too far, because he needed to get to a point where he could make the ball and hold shape on the 8 or bump the 2, which would bump the 8 out into play. But he needed to roll a little bit further for sure. He can still make this ball off of the 2 into the corner or cut it in, but then the cue ball going a little wild on him.
Wow.
That's what I meant. See the cue ball going wild? Now he's in a terrible position now. He's got to go, looks like, try to go, oh, boy, this is tough. I don't think he can even just go 2 rails and hit this ball. I think he's got to go 3 rails to hit this ball, and then you got to hit it hard enough to touch a rail after that. If he can go 1 rail, I don't think he can go 1 rail and hit it. It's hard to tell. Okay. All right. He's going to have to put left English on this ball to make it stiffen up off that second rail, or change the angle off that second rail. Boom. Oh, no. No good.
Even close. No.
Yeah. He had to put a lot more left on that ball to make that. You see how it came off the second rail and started going low of the 5? He had to put a lot of left on it to make it straighten up and head more toward the 8. I don't think his shot selection is the best here. I think he should have taken the 2 and the 4, and then the 2 and the 7, then the 4 and the 5. 5 would have been his last shot, because you stopped right there and you got the 8 in. I mean, he'll probably get out this way, but I just don't think it was as clean a run as another pattern would have been.
Pockets the 2 in the side.
Yeah, but now he's got a shot where he's got to move the cue ball a little bit to get a decent shot on the 8. Yeah, different pattern would have been a much easier run out. See, he wouldn't have had the shot pattern that I would have suggested to him. He wouldn't have had to hit any balls hard like that, and he wouldn't have a hard shot at all on the 8 ball. Stay down, smooth. He came up a little bit, still made it.
Pockets the 8
All
in
right,
the corner,
good.
and he is on the board. Good start there
Good
for
for
Jason
Jason.
Gray. Tied up 1-1 with Brian Parks, race to 7. This will be the third of 5 games of 8-ball that we're going to see here. Rick, if you're looking for the brackets, you can go to CompuSport.us. We've got that pinned here in the comment section. You can see who's playing and when they're playing and who they're playing. And
we've got a couple more tables on YouTube.
2 more tables on YouTube right now, youtube.com/APA Leagues. See if I can hop over there and see exactly who's playing. Your best bet would be to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page. You won't miss any of the action thanks to the notifications you'll be getting. Jason will have the break here. Looks like we've got Jeremy McKinney, David Barnes on YouTube. And we've got, I'm going to butcher this name, but Q Dow and Michael Pickering. Again, those are at youtube.com/APA Leagues.
Brian just had an excellent shot, pocketed the ball, a tough shot into the side pocket, followed the cue ball up to knock the 3 away from a bad position, but then moved it into another bad position. So it looks like he's able to make the 11 ball in the side pocket. I don't think the 9, let's see, will the 9, yeah, the 9 will go into the corner pocket, but he's got to protect against following that cue ball into the side pocket here. Got to keep it away from the side. He did, good. Just a little bit of follow did that for him. And if he pockets the 14 in the corner, it's just a natural flow. Watch, see this? Actually, I think he put a little bit of right-hand English on the ball. He really didn't have to have that to accomplish the shot. But it was just a natural flow over to the 10 next. If he had if he had not put the extra right English on the ball, then he wouldn't be having to use the bridge right now, because the cue ball would be about up to where his bridge is now. He could have easily reached it without the bridge. Something to keep in mind when you're hitting a shot like the shot he hit a moment ago is that as the cue ball, when you're cutting a ball and as the cue ball rubs against the object ball that you're hitting, it actually, the rubbing action puts a little bit of English onto the ball, that's onto the cue ball as it's rubbing across it. So sometimes that's all you need. You think you need to put a little bit of like outside English on the ball, but you don't. Or maybe sometimes because of that, you need to put a little bit of inside English to counter that ball rub English that happens. So keep that in mind whenever you're cutting balls, that you will naturally get a little bit of that rub English. I'm calling it rub English. I'm not sure what the technical term is. that shot, he could have hit that exactly the same way as far as English and line and all that. Just hit it a little bit softer. The cue ball would have had a slight bit of left curve on it, and it would have thrown the 14 into place, or 10, whatever the stripe is there. It would have thrown it over a little bit more and pocketed the ball. Now this is going to run into the 3 ball, so what you have to do is play that. So go ahead and put a little bit of right-hand English on the cue ball, and then when it hits the 3, so it's going to hit the 10. When it hits the 3, it'll roll off of it and then hit the rail and then come around 2 rails for the position for the 8 in the side pocket, on the left side of the table. That sounds tough, but we just he ended up hitting it twice. Where if he'd have hit the right English that I was talking about, it would have hit it and then gone over to the right a little bit, and he would have been on the right side of the table, about where the diamond just above the side pocket is, and then he would have the 8 just about straight into the other side. Yeah, he's really at a disadvantage now. If he, what I would suggest here, since he's just about got it to be really offensive, is to knock this ball into the 7 ball, into the side of the 7 ball. Call it in the side pocket next to the right of the 7 ball here. Yes, and then play it off of the 7. So hit it. He's aiming at the 7.
It's almost like he was checking with you.
Yeah,
what you're talking about?
That's exactly what he's doing. He's looking at it.
That's funny.
So he's got to hit it into the 7 ball, so it'll hit the 7 and then start tracking toward the side pocket. He'll need a sort of a medium stroke on this, and you'll want to make sure he'll want to draw the cue ball a little bit, but don't draw it into the 2 and then make it come off the 2 down the cue ball off the 2 down into the corner. Got to avoid that. So I think he had the right idea, just wasn't able to pull it off.
I'm going to bring Brian back to the table. Again, Brian from Bakersfield, California, comes all the way over.
Yeah, that's a long trip.
Long trip for an event with no prize money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know many pros that do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm going to throw him in there. The Facebook commenters will love that. Has somebody actually talking about his shirt, saying, well, he's got a shirt. He must be a pro.
Well, but don't. APA says try to get sponsors to help you do this stuff, right? Yeah.
Of course.
Just, getting sponsors helps you come to the event. It doesn't mean it's buying you lunch and you.
Tell me, I don't think they're paying
his.
I don't think they're paying his mortgage.
No.
I love to have fun with the Facebook commenters. Well, Mr. Parks.
Yeah, he can just follow this up. It's really just like just a shade above center, I think, and he goes to the side rail, and he can have this in the corner. A little off angle, but he should be fine. And what I would do from here is just hit high on the cue ball and send the 8 goes in the corner, and the cue ball goes 1 diamond above the other side pocket. It's just a natural. You don't have to put any kind of juice or any kind of special stuff. Okay, 1.5 diamonds above the side pocket.
Brian pockets the 8 in the corner. regains the lead 2-1 in this race to 7.
Did you say this is the 25th
25th
anniversary
of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Started in 1994. And if you are interested in being a part of this great event, qualifying for it, it all starts by getting signed up at usam.poolplayers.com. Get signed up, and you will compete in a preliminary round. Top finishers in the preliminary rounds, which are held in a couple dozen locations around the country, right? So something close to you, and then.
And each event has usually multiple winners.
Right, depending on how many, and the top finishers advance to the championship rounds.
127 from all of those around the U.S. come to this event from qualifying, and then the person who won the previous year comes back without winning last year was his qualification, right?
It's almost like you've played in this before, Richard.
Oh,
it's almost like you've played in this event. You know so much about it.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely my favorite event of the year. Oh, no.
You see that table moving like it's on a boat. It's not the bay underneath us. It's the fact that one of the cameras is strapped to a light. Light must have got bumped a little bit.
Yeah, we try to get it off of there as quickly as possible when it starts moving. We don't want anybody getting sick on it.
Exactly, no seasickness. Looks like Jason's a member of the River Valley APA up there in Pennsylvania, run by my friends Rob and Jen Miller, Dan Simning. I'm sure they're tuning in, watching. Really tight-knit league they've got up there. A lot of folks rooting Jason on, wanting him to be the Dragon Slayer here.
No, he needed to come off the rail a little bit, so he really hit that a little too soft. Come off the rail about a ball or so, because when you're straight in on something, you can only go forward or backwards with your shape, unless you do something really, really fancy. So basically, he's going to have to deal with just, like I said, unless you do something really, really fancy, which is what he just did.
Just tuning in, you're seeing live coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. We are in the 4th round here, day 1. Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, which is just across the bay from Tampa. This is Jason Gray at the table from New Freedom, Pennsylvania. First time for him competing in the U.S. Amateur Championship.
That was a nice shot. That was a very nice shot, and he brought the cue ball around to track for the 14. But now what he needs to do is send the cue ball between the 5 and the 7 to where it hits the rail and then comes right back out for shape on the next stripe. See if he can do that. He got a little help there from the 5 ball, but so now if he can hit this and draw the cue ball right into the 6 ball and stop it there, he'll have the 7 right into the side pocket, or that may have been a little easier to do there, but I would have preferred to draw it into the 6 if I could, because I think it would have been guaranteed to not hook yourself. Good shot. Nice run out.
All right, tied up here. Jason Gray doesn't look too intimidated by a 5-time champion here.
No.
Now tied 2-2 in a race to 7.
And I think earlier maybe Brian thought that Jason was going to be a pushover just because of the first few shots Jason missed. But I think Jason
Rethinking
came back
that.
and said, "No, you can't count me out, buddy.
Right.
I'm going to play. I'm here to play." So I'm glad Jason showed him he can play just then. Because that's a lot of this is that mental,
Yep.
you know, getting the mental edge on somebody, and the fact that Brian has 5 belts, you know,
Right.
5 of these U.S. amateur trophies that gives him the mental edge over just most of us, you know. We're at Strokers in Palm Harbor, and they have some delicious seafood.
I know, I'm smelling it.
And I'm
It's making
smelling
me
it right
hungry.
now.
Making me hungry. The shrimp here.
People come from all around to have their shrimp.
Freddy's
so,
shrimp, yeah.
So if you're in Palm Harbor, in Tampa area, come on over to Strokers.
Yep, one of the better menus in terms of pool room cuisines that I've ever encountered.
And if you just want something light too, you can get that. I had a
Yeah.
4 grilled cheese earlier that was
There you go.
delicious. Four cheeses on a grilled cheese.
Yeah,
Sandwich.
tough to go wrong with their menu here at Strokers. And man, their service thus far this week has been outstanding.
All of their waitresses serve you with a
man.
smile.
They are all over the place with the full house and just. It's all part of Jose Del Rio, who's actually playing in this event, all part of his place here at Strokers.
Yeah.
They always roll out the red carpet for us.
And they really make sure these tables are well set up,
Yes.
too. Now, he'll need to pull this back just slightly when he pockets this in the corner. So he wants to get just the right angle on the, 15 in the, to go in the side pocket. See there, he's pointing exactly, yeah. He's looking at it. He wants to and he's shaking his head because he knows that there's some difficulty running out from here. So now when he pockets this ball, he's going to run into the 3. Oh, what happened? Going to run into the 3 ball. And then, when you do that, you're not sure how things are going to end up after that. So the 11 may end up in a spot because the 3 will run into the 11 probably, or at least get up there and cluster with it. So he's got to be careful anyway. Moving these balls around. Okay, so he decided not to put that in the into the side pocket because of what I was talking about, all the trouble he was having to worry with. And I can't tell if that ball goes into the corner or not. The 11, can you tell if it goes all the way down into the corner? I can't tell.
No. Not from where we are here. Looks like that's what he's thinking, though.
Yeah, but I don't know where he's going to put the next ball. I guess if he can make it there, then he can follow this up and play it in the.
No,
nah.
not quite.
He tried to cheat the pocket there, and he cheated it more than it would accept.
Justin, you're asking about Johnny Griffin's match. If you go to CompuSport.us, which is pinned right here in the comments, that'll take you to a bracket. You can see everybody who's in this year's event, when they play, what their schedule looks like. You can follow along right there.
I'd like to say hey to Gene Dean up there in North Alabama. See that he's on Facebook with us, watching the stream. He's been around for years, playing in a lot of the events.
will be the final game of the 8-ball set here.
Yeah, so when they start with 8-ball, they play 5 games of 8-ball before moving into the 9-ball part of it, and there's up to 8 games of 9-ball. If you start with 9-ball, then you play all 8 games of 9-ball before you.
Well, potentially, I guess, and maybe that's part of the reason folks decide to start in 8-ball is that you can potentially finish out the race in 9-ball if you're.
I think that's one of the main reasons most people do it. I could tell. I could tell before he ever pulled the trigger that he was going to miss the ball. It was just something about the way he was addressing it. It felt off. Yeah, there was a lot of tension in that shot there.
Brian will try to take advantage here.
And he accepted what he had there. See, he would have much rather had the cue ball on this side of on the other side of this next ball. But he accepted the line that he had and just followed the cue ball up to here. He'll play this 8 in the side pocket now. And rarely have I seen in the U.S. Amateur Championships that anyone marks the pocket. You just
kind of
nominate the pocket, and the other guy goes hit, and you shoot.
All right, Brian now up 3 games to 2. Somebody had asked about Ernesto Bayao. I think I heard that Ernesto lost in his first round. But again, if you guys go to CompuSport.us, you'll be able to see exactly how each player's doing, whether they won or lost their match, when they play next. There is no charge to use the information on CompuSport. Brian will have the break here, and again, we are now playing 9-ball.
And he'll expect that 5 to just shoot right into the right corner, but nope, missed it.
He just missed a couple of them, and he's going to give the table back to Jason.
I think he'll hit it slightly harder next time, just a little bit harder than that, and the ball will get, if he gets another break in 9-ball, just a little bit harder, I think. Everything else the same, and probably make it. Yeah, I believe he's going to go ahead and try this because he can. If he misses it, well, unless he misses it like that, I was thinking it'd be safe, but careful that you don't want to make the 1 with it, because you need the 1 to help you get on the 2 ball.
Miguel, this is similar to the Masters format. Of course, the Masters format is a team format. This is individual play, but yeah, combination 8-ball and 9-ball, non-handicapped, jump cues allowed, push out allowed. I guess the only difference between this and the Masters would be table size, and the fact that it's individual versus team play. So.
Oh, that was a good shot. Excellent shot right there. And for those who don't know, the folks that don't know what a push out is, that on the shot immediately following the break in 9-ball, not in the 8-ball part, but in 9-ball, the incoming player has the option to hit the cue ball to anywhere on the table without hitting a rail or anything. But you call a push out ahead of time, and then you can do that, and then your incoming your opponent can look at the table and decide whether or not to shoot the shot or give it back to you. And what that does is if it allows somebody, if you get hooked on the break shot, then it gives you a chance to work your way out of it. Now he'll need to make this and then come. He'll stay sort of close to the center of the table. I expect him to be really close to the center of the table here. And the reason he wants to be in the center is where he can kind of make the cue ball go like a Z from here. So he'll make the 6 in the corner, draw right on the cue ball, and it'll come back to about where his elbow is and come off the rail there. See this? And then head toward the 7, and then you're going down the line that you want to be on for the last bit that it rolls, and he's got an easy combo into the corner. And that makes
Brian
it 4
takes
to
the
2.
first game in 9-ball, now leading by 2 games.
But a lot of people make the mistake of getting straight in on that 6 ball instead of staying toward the center of the table, and then they have a tough time getting the cue ball back down there.
Good time to remind folks that if you're not already a member of the American Pool Players Association, you're not playing in one of our leagues, now's the perfect time to get signed up. Go to poolplayers.com/join. Become a member today. Start enjoying the benefits of membership today. Get you on a team playing in the league. Maybe see you at one of our championship events in Vegas, one of our many events around the country. Brian with the break here. Another dry break there for Brian.
Now, if he just rolls this in, it's a naturally sends the cue ball into position for the 2. Don't want to hit the, yeah, that's the right speed, but you just got to pocket it.
Okay, so if I don't find the button
Brian pockets the 1 on the side.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if he just stopped the cue ball there, pretty much, yeah. See that inside English? He put right on that to hold it back for the 4 ball, straighten it up when it hits the end rail. He just hit it a little soft, but he's fine. He can go to the side rail and back out and play the 8 in the same pocket. He overcut the ball, though. I'd have to do a little bit of a curve around the 8 ball to make this ball in the corner, and then he's not guaranteed to get shape on the 8. He may hook himself behind the 9 ball. Might be better kicking 1 rail toward us and then back up to the 7. Now there's a safety here, but the cue ball goes down to this end of the. No, you can't hit it twice there. You got to. But if I think what he was trying to do there was clip it a little thinner than that, and the 7 goes about halfway across the table at the top there, and the cue ball comes down here toward us, the bottom end of the table. Get some separation, and you might have gotten, the 8 and the 9 between the cue ball and the 7, but that did not work out. He was going for that. But the speed, see the speed he hit it? It's a 1.5 rail speed. That way, if he misses it, like he just did, it comes it doesn't get right in the other pocket. It goes halfway and makes it as tough as possible on his opponent. This was potentially a good shot, but I think he gave him a piece of the 7. Now he's going to, unless he feels pretty confident with this bank. Let's see. Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't just go ahead and put the cue ball on the center end rail, and then put the 7 about where it is now. He could have done that fairly easy. The 9 and the 8 are set up to where it blocks they act as a big blocker. Come around 2 rails for shape. No, it was. Yeah, that's better. I would have probably come closer to the corner pocket and then back out to the center of the table to play the 8 in the other corner. Jason's stroke is a little bit choppy right now, and I wonder if that's just from being tensed up playing against somebody with Brian's.
Yeah, well, it's just tough in general, and regardless who you're playing here.
Yeah. Being on the TV table, first time at the U.S. Amateur.
Yeah, there's folks watching you play.
Yeah.
Brian now up 5-2 in a race to 7. Still time for Jason to turn things around here.
Yeah, I agree, David. Trexler, that's what I was getting at a moment ago, is that I think nerves may be getting to him a little bit. I've not seen him play before, but I think a little bit ago he was not as choppy. He was more smooth, and it may be just getting to him just a little bit right now. Uh-oh. He almost got hooked. So this is, assuming he can see that 1 ball. It looks like he's having to curve it a little bit, but that's not going to get there. He can still make the 3 over there. He could actually make the 2. He got it.
Got it.
Yeah. That's good. A little bit of inside English. It'll hit the. Watch it change directions when it hits the rail here. Straightens out. Now with this one, he's got a choice of going forward or pulling it back into the right corner pocket around that to come around, and there he goes. He wanted to be a little bit closer to the corner pocket where it would come out and miss that 6 ball, though. Running into the 6 ball kept him from getting the shape he wanted on the 5. Cue ball's going to go around and around the table here. You got to make sure when you pull this over that you don't pull it behind that 9 ball. Yep, nice. But when you're shooting a shot like that, don't let your last thought be, this is where I don't want it to be, because your subconscious doesn't know that it doesn't know don't. It just knows, oh, that's what I saw. Let's put it there. So the last thing you need to think about is where do I want it, not where do I not want it. Good shoot.
All right, Brian pockets the 9. Now on the hill, leading 6-2 against Jason Gray. Well, there's always a comeback.
Yeah.
As of now, Brian looks firmly in control of this particular match.
Yeah, he does there. I'd really like to see Jason show what he showed earlier again. I'd like for it to come back into this match.
But I mean, and you kind of touched on this earlier. I mean, maybe some nerves about who you're playing, and this is very classic of what we see with people that play Brian. Is, you know, sometimes I think they outthink themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the one ball to drop on the side.
Yeah, remember earlier I said I thought he'd hit it a little bit harder next time. He actually hit it a little softer this time. But the main thing was you got to change something.
Right.
If you hit it the same way every time and you're not making a ball, then you're probably still not going to make a ball. How about that shot, boys and girls? Very nice. Still got his work ahead of him here, though. He's got to hit this ball, make the cue ball go to the side pocket and back out, I think. Let's see. No, he can just roll it forward. It makes his shot a little tougher, though. I think rolling it like that. Being against the rail, looks like he might have a straight in shot on this 4 ball. He may have a little bit of angle. But if he tries to bring that cue ball around, he may get himself hooked behind that 9 ball. No. Still another tough shot. All right, Jason needs to take advantage of this opportunity. And that was not a good start toward it. He wanted to be about in the center of the table. I mean, he can still pocket this and come back. He's got to. It looks like he's going to scratch in the side by his hand the way he's shooting it right there. He didn't hit it as hard as I thought. He's got a couple of choices. Okay, he's going to hit one rail and come right back down to where his left hand is. See, I like to approach the shot where it's without drawing it on the screen. It's hard to explain, but draw right on it and drag it into the corner. And then it comes around just short of the left side pocket and then comes off the rail right there. So it's like 3 rail shape, but I know I'm going to get shape on shooting it that way. He can pocket this. He can actually pocket this ball in the corner down there. If he hits a soft with a lot of outside left English. Tough shot, though. Randy Morin would have cut it in. Randy, I don't know if you met Randy before,
No.
but he's a very, very good player from the Huntsville area, Huntsville, Alabama. And he would make that shot in the corner. It's a lot of outside spin and
Yeah.
just kind of feather it and goes in there. He can make it over and over and over and over.
All right. Jason pockets the 8 in the corner.
Just a little bit of, I don't like hitting it this way because you bring pockets into play, worried about scratching.
Follows up
See
the
how close
9.
it's coming to this side pocket over here? I prefer to go ahead and drag it, hit it a little firmer, a little bit of bottom, and keep it away from pockets. Totally away from pockets. Scratching, that is.
Cuts into Brian's lead. Now trails by just 3 games.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
All right, Jason will have the break here. Opportunity to claw back into this match.
Yeah, I would love to see him get, some more control like he had earlier. He's really already shown to me that he can play this game, but he's had some rough parts. He picked up a lot on that shot. This is not the easiest of shots. Let's see if there's a path to getting on that 2 ball. It looks like you may have to go around the table. Okay, he loaded it up with inside English. At first, it didn't look like he was going to do it that way, but that's the way I would have shot it as well. Gotta pull it back just a little bit. You don't want to pull it back too far. Just a little bit.
Wow.
I think he miscued on that. Saw him go straight to his tip. I believe he miscued.
Didn't really do Jason any favors, though, did he? Hard to tell if that's.
No,
No.
no, he didn't do him any favors at all. And playing safe is tough from here as well. That was maybe a good shot if it'd get on over there. That was close to being a very good shot.
Rides that 2 all the way down.
He could go straight to the end rail and back out, or go 2 rails and out, or he could have gone around the other way. There, he had a lot of options on that. That time. He needs to make sure he doesn't do it and mess with that 7 ball, or let it mess with him being jacked up over it. He's really a lot further from that 6 ball than he should be at this point. As good as he's shooting, I'm sure he'll make it, but you just don't want to be that far away from the ball.
No reason to take a chance.
Just back out to the center of the table, a little bit past it.
Nice.
Oh. I draw this close to the corner pocket, cue ball close to the corner pocket. See that? That way you take all the pockets out of play. You go ahead and hit the ball, and you don't have to worry about the cue ball scratching anywhere.
All right, defending champion Brian Parks off to a good start here at this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. tough break or a tough matchup for Jason Gray, but he'll move to the one-loss bracket. Still some time for him to right the ship. Brian will move on in the winner's bracket. We're going to take a break, and we will be back with more coverage from this year's U.S. Amateur Championship.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Come back to see us.